Alright guys, in this final part of this tutorial I will show you guys how to control an image using CSV file inside Illustrator. So basically what we are going to do here is we are going to bring in external images into Adobe Illustrator with the path provided by a CSV file. Okay, so why do you need an external image path from a CSV file inside Illustrator? Let's assume instead of a name card, let's assume this one is a company ID. All right, each employee ID will have their own profile image or user image, whatever you call it, in their ID cards. So if you are creating this kind of mass production like earlier using data sets, you need to bring in dynamic images into each and every IDs. So all you need to do is define a size, predefined size, and save all the image file into one folder and use the name with the path inside the CSV file once you attach the file together. So in this portion I will show you guys how to do that using this name card. So I'm just going to place a image into this name card and explain how we can do it. So you can do the same thing inside a company ID or even for a name card if you have profile images in your name card. All right, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this company logo into a placeholder. So I will delete this one and go to rectangle and place a rectangle in here. Just a black box will do. Later we will replace this with the images. We can arrange, align the way you want. So let's open up Photoshop and create some basic images for our creation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to place a object like this and color, and I will give some different colors for the profile image just as a dummy image, just different colors so that we can differentiate these things inside Illustrator. That's the whole point. You guys can replace these things with actual images. These are just dummy images I am creating for tutorial. Alright, so image is done. Let's import one of the image into this Illustrator file first. Alright, so actually we don't need this box. I'm going to delete this. Let's place the image. Go into place, file, place, and select the image, and make sure to click the link in the index section below. If you don't click the link, this part will not work. This is really important, guys. If you want to change the link URL with the CSV file, you must select this link. Okay, so let's place the image first and let's resize it to fit it to our area. So this size will do. So I'm going to place it right in here. Alright, so now let's go back to our Excel sheet and prepare our data set. But this part is little bit tricky. Before we start, make sure to select all these columns and right click, go to cell properties, and make sure to change this to text if it's in a different format. Reason for doing this is because same as the visibility function, instead of hashtag we need to have @ in front of our path for the label. But in Excel, if you type @path, it will think that is a Excel function and it will start to open up Excel function. And when you type some other text, Excel will treat that part, the text, as a error message, and it will start to give you error message inside Excel. So that's the reason I changed this to a text before I came in. I will show you guys what I mean by this. I will go into H1 cell and type a @ and see what will happen here. All right, okay, let's go into H1 cell and @ you see the problem. So this is the error message you will get if you don't change it. Let's do that here. I think because I changed still happens, but let's see. Yeah, now there is no error message. So this is the issue you will face sometimes inside Excel. Alright guys, so it's always better to change it to text. Okay, so now we need to add the image path in here. So we can go to our image and copy the path from Windows file path. Let's copy and paste it in here. And I'm going to copy all of these paths because they all are going to be in the same place, and change the image names. Okay, I'm going to copy image names one by one and going to place it in here. Just the image name with the full extension. You need to copy everything from the extension to the name. All right, okay, I think I will make this part faster. Okay, so now all done. Let's save the file and go back to Illustrator, and let's go into the alright, but this time what I need to do is I need to delete these things first before I import, because we have changed some settings earlier with our visibility settings. So I'm just going to delete everything first. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the file from here as a fresh file. Right, okay, select this and import everything. Import again. Let's combine and bind all the object first. Name to name, manager to designation, mobile number, and mobile number to mobile number, and this one also office number, email to email, and this one we can set it to, we don't need, we can set it to visibility. Okay, that is the second icon, remember that one. And image to image path, we can use the same as the first one. You can also see in here icon of this variable is changed to an image icon, which is how you know it has correctly imported the file as an image. So you have three type of icons in here. For data you will see the T, for visibility you will see the I, and for image you will see this image icon. Okay, alright, so let's bind this one together, and now our data set is connected with this business card, and we can see one by one from here. Okay, all done. Now if you go and see each set, you have the path, image is changing, also the data is changing. Alright, so before we finish this one, if you are using Mac and if you follow my tutorial, you will not get the results right. So if you are using Mac, the path you need to give in a different way. For an example, if you save the file in a images folder, you don't need to give the full path. You just need to go in here and use the slash instead of backslash, and give your image folder name and the folder like this. So the backslash you need to change it to slash, and also you don't need to give the full path, you just need to point the folder like this. All right, okay, so the last thing I want to show you guys in here is using a CSV file to control graphs inside Illustrator. So far we have covered raw data, visibility controls, path URLs from a CSV file. The final part is the graph. Okay, okay, first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file in Illustrator, because I don't think anyone will have graphs inside their name cards. So I'm going to create a new file in here, and let's go into graphs and create a graph in here. Please note guys, this is not a tutorial about teaching how to create graphs inside Illustrator. This is all about attaching a outside CSV file to control a graph inside. Okay, so I just draw the graph like this in here, and let's go into Excel and let's create a new Excel sheet. And before I change anything, let's go and save this file. Go save as, and I will select the folder same as the earlier one in here. Create a new folder, maybe I name this one as graphs, and let's most importantly choose the file format. Okay, let's give a file name first, data, and this time let's choose the other format which supported in Windows, text tab delimited. Okay, this is one of the other format we support in Windows. Save. Let's have some dummy data in here. So I'm just going to have some dummy data. Let's say age, 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 and let's have some values, 25, maybe 12, and 55, and 60. Okay, so now we just go and save this file. Okay, then we go back to Illustrator and let's import that data into this data set, into this graph in here. To import the data, you need to select on this icon and go and choose the path where you save your CSV file. Let's open, select, and yeah, it's already imported. Click on this tick. As you can see, it already created the graph, and also our graph label is appearing on top as age. Okay, this is cool, but this one we can always do. For this part, you don't need variables in Illustrator to do anything, but what we are going to do is having multiple set of data and combining them into Illustrator. Also keep in mind guys, this is just a simple data set. You can have multiple columns, multiple rows, and import them into Illustrator and make complex graphs as well. But for this tutorial, I'm going to keep this one very simple. I'm only going to have one row and one column, and we can have only one set of data with different values. But what we are going to do here, what I'm going to show is importing multiple data sets and showing different files and creating different files with the automation process which we learned earlier. Okay, so let's start doing it. Let's go into Excel and create two more data sets for our graphs. This one I'm just going to give a weight. So instead of age, weight, and let's have some weights in here, 55 and 60, and just random data guys, 92 and maybe 75. Okay, let's save this one as a new file. We can save anywhere. I'm going to save in the same place as data number 2 and save. And the third one will be maybe temperature. Okay, so just random data. So let's put weather, and for the first one I'm going to say 12 degrees. All of these are in Celsius guys, not in Fahrenheit. 20, and this one probably 24, and maybe change it to 16. The last one, let's have some hot weather, maybe 32. Yeah, okay, so let's save as a different file, and this one is going to be data set 3. Okay, just say 3 and save. Alright, so our data set, all of them are ready. We can have thousands of files, doesn't matter. So for now, let's keep it simple, and let's have only 3 sets in here. Now we need to create a brand new CSV file. Inside this file, we are going to point to those 3 CSV files which is used inside graphs. We are going to point to them. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to create a brand new CSV file and link that file to variables, and inside the variables in the CSV cells we are going to point to files locations same as we done for image files. Okay guys, hope this part is clear for you. Don't confuse on this part. we have created 3 files for data. That data is used inside graphs, and we are creating the 4th file, which we are going to point to those 3 data files and use this file to link the variables inside Illustrator. Okay, so let's start doing it, then you will understand if you don't get this point. Okay. Alright, so before I go in further, if you remember earlier, we need to use special characters in front of cells to tell Illustrator the type of data. For an example, for the visibility settings, we use the hashtag. For the image path, we use @. Same as those things, for the graph, we need to use the %sign. Then only Illustrator will know this data is for graph purposes. If we use hashtag, then Illustrator will know this is a visibility settings. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to use this same file, and let's change this to graphs. Let's delete these values first, and let's go in and have our %sign in front, and then let's give the paths below. Let's go ahead and open the file where we saved, and I'm going to copy this path in here. Where I saved it was inside the graphs. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, Ctrl+C, and I'm going to place it in here, and I will give the file name. The first file name is book1, book.txt, data1. Okay, data. All right, so I name this one as data in here. So the first file name is data.txt. Okay, the second one is going to be, and I'm going to copy all of these, and I'm going to rename them as data2, and the other one is data3. Okay, just rename them first. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this file save as. But remember, this time is really important, we have to save this file format as CSV, delimited, same as earlier. Then only it will work in variables, guys. So remember to save this one as CSV, delimited. Okay, so I saved this file. Let's go back to variables and select this file. Alright, so now you can see we have the graph data in here. So all we need to do is create a new graph like this, select the graph and the variable set, go below and bind it together. Now we have loaded the data. We go back to the set1. You see the age in here, which is coming from our data.txt file. Okay, so we can go to the text2, dataset2 from top. But before I go, there is only one graph element in here. So when you're trying to change the dynamic data value from top, there will be a warning message in Illustrator, which basically says when you try to change the data, the previous data will be deleted. So all you need to do is just capture that previous data, which will save as a new set, which will be inside the Illustrator. So even if you change the dataset, you can access that file inside the dataset value. I will show you guys how. Okay, let's try to go to dataset2. As you can see, the warning message in here basically says the data will be, do you want to proceed or you want to save the data? That's the message in here. Just say no and capture from this capture button on top, which is a camera button. Now if you open, you will see there is a new dataset 4. So the dataset 4 is actually the dataset 1, but it's saved inside Illustrator. After you capture this data, now if you go to dataset 2, you won't get that error message again. You may face the same error message when you try to access the dataset 3 because you never saved this file. So all we need to do is capture the data, then you won't see this warning message. Alright guys. Alright guys, so this will be the end of these variable tutorials. Hopefully you guys learned some tips from this tutorial. Using these tips you guys can save a lot of time and make the process automated and make the process faster and automated as well. Before I close with my tutorial, just a recap with these data sets. To have the proper variable type for the test string, you don't need to have any special characters in the CSV file. For the photo path or image path, you need to have the @ sign in front, and for the graph path you need to have the percentage sign, and for the visibility settings, true or false value, you need to have the hashtag in your CSV file. Then only Illustrator will know the data type and it will react based on the data type. Okay guys, so you also can download the source file of my CSV which I have used in this example. Please go to the link under the description below and download. And if you are watching this from Udemy, you can download straight from the resources folder, resources link. And thank you again for purchasing and watching this tutorial, and see you guys in my next tutorial.